All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So I just got done watching the Raider game. Man, so it's super late at night, and unfortunately, the Jet game, the Jets, they're on my mind. And I said, you know what? I cannot go to sleep with this stuff lingering. I got to make the video now. I was gonna wait until tomorrow to make it, but I got to make this now. Robert Saleh, Nathaniel Hackett, Joe Douglas, something's got to give. Something's got to give here. Personally, I do not like making rash changes within the first 4 weeks of an NFL season. I usually don't feel like 3 or 4 games is a big enough sample size to make make a team altering decision, like potentially changing the quarterback, right? Or changing things up, bringing somebody in, and we're going to talk about it. But I feel like based off of what we've seen through the first 3 games of the season, and granted the Jets are 1-2, we win next week, we're 500. Great. It's no secret that the Jets offense has been awful to start the year. It's literally been one of the worst offenses in the National Football League. There are teams out there with less talent, less depth, but they're doing more. Again, one of the worst in the NFL. And look, I've said it once, I'll say it again. In that week 1 home opener against the Buffalo Bills, a great defense, I will give Hackett a pass there. Yeah, I know not everybody will, but I will. Yeah, I don't think Hackett was saying, okay, you know what, Rodgers could go down with an injury, so I have this complete Zach Wilson game plan ready to go in my back pocket. Right? Preparing for the Buffalo Bills is difficult enough, especially if it's week 1 of the NFL season. So, you have all these different teams pulling out all the stops, making sure that they have, it's a brand new team, brand new year. There's going to be changes. So in that regard, I will give Hackett a pass. But in week 2 against the Dallas Cowboys, in week 3 today against the New England Patriots, he doesn't get one. He does not get one. This offense looks clunky. It looks confused. They look scared, to be honest with you. I mean, we don't push the ball down the field. We just don't. We don't throw it deep. I know we had the Hail Mary, but it's a Hail Mary. It doesn't count. It does not matter. When you put yourself in the shoes of Bill Belichick or Dan Quinn, do you actually think that Zach Wilson is going to uncork a bomb down the field? No. You just don't, because you don't feel like Hackett will call that play in. I feel like Wilson needs to be utilized outside of the pocket more. It just seems like, I'm not one for, cliches here or anything like that, but like it's the whole definition of insanity. They're doing the same thing. It was a carbon copy from week 2 to week 3. It was a myriad of different problems in week 2, both offensively and defensively. I was thinking, okay, we're probably not going to be able to fix every single issue and come out and look like a Super Bowl caliber team, but at least we'll be taking steps in the right direction. We're going to be in front of our home crowd. We're going to be juiced up, fired up. We just got humiliated against Dallas. Let's show everybody. Let's show the hungry Patriots, right? A winless football team coming to MetLife, starving for a W. Let's punch back. Let's punch back and show them, hey, we're the Jets here. We're not going down this easy. And that didn't happen. It did not happen. And I am so disappointed because of that. And again, it's early. It's week 3. So many games left in football. And, we can even point to other like good teams, or like the projected good teams in the AFC. Like the Chargers are 1-2. Right? New England's 1-2. Miami's flying, but we already beat the Buffalo Bills. There's a lot of Cincinnati. It's not like it's just the Jets that have their work cut out for them. Let's focus in on the quarterback position, right? Zach Wilson, he's thrown for 467 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 INTs with a completion percentage just above 52%. In other words, not good. Not good at all. But it goes beyond just the stat sheet. It's the eye test, right? Looking at him today, watching him today, just snap the ball in the moments where he had good protection, just hold on to the ball. He's holding it, waiting to make a decision. It just seems like he's not processing what's happening in front of him, and he would just go down with a sack, right? Whether it was, Judon or whoever. New England, give them credit. Bill Belichick has a very, very long track record of confusing young quarterbacks, getting in their heads. We all know, what happened to Sam Darnold on primetime. And also his record against Zach Wilson in the past, right? What's Belichick's record against Saleh? He's 4-0. We know that this is the Patriots' bread and butter. We know that this is what they do. But my lord, like the offensive production in weeks 2 and 3 has been downright abysmal. I mean, let's just rattle off some numbers here. Today on third down, the Jets were 2 of 14. 2 of 14. We had 12 first downs on the day. The Jets ran a total of 61 plays and had a total of 171 yards. That's bottom of the barrel. I mean, I felt like every single time the Jets offense got the football, they were punting it like a minute later, 2 minutes later, right? Like I personally counted 4 3 and outs in the first half alone. In the first half alone. So, again, I understand this is Saleh's team here. We have, much like Belichick has his resume of getting in the minds of young, quarterbacks. Saleh has a track record of his teams coming out flat in the first half. We make those adjustments. We look a lot better once we settle into games. The Jets really start making plays, and we even had, as crazy as it sounds, we even had an opportunity to end it with the Hail Mary. We only lost, it was 15-10. It wasn't like 28-10 or 30-10 or anything like that. But the bottom line is this: I don't know how we can move forward, how we can operate on a day-to-day basis with the understanding of everything is fine. Everything is totally fine. No changes are going to be made. Nobody's going to question us. No, we don't want to talk about Tim Boyle. No, we don't want to talk about Carson Wentz. No, we don't want to talk about any free agent veterans out there or potentially trading for a quarterback. We're not doing it. It's Zach's team. In locker rooms, right? There's or like around facilities, there's, just those like coachable signs, right? Be like, number 1, do your job. Number 2, be on time. Number 3, work hard, stuff like that. It feels like in the Jets facility, there's a 4th one. It says you must start Zach Wilson. It really feels like there's a law in place that the Jets must start Wilson. And I'm not saying he needs to be benched immediately. Like if the Jets sign Carson Wentz tomorrow, for example, or Matt Ryan tomorrow, whoever it is. No, Zach Wilson will be the starting quarterback against the Kansas City Chiefs this upcoming week. There is going to be an onboarding process for the next quarterback that's being brought in. But this is the point that Jets fans have been talking about for weeks since the Aaron Rodgers injury. Really, I mean, some fans have been talking about it, since the offseason. But it's like, where is the insurance policy? Where is the plan B here? If Zach Wilson goes out there and plays poorly, are we just going to continue to roll him out there and just keep him out there and just understand? I mean, think about the message that sends to the locker room. Think about the message that sends to the fans in the stands that are paying good money to watch this football team. And we're just doing the same thing over and over and over. I get it. Wilson was the 2nd overall pick. He's the golden child of Joe Douglas. It was his decision to select him. But we're on OC number 2. We have weapons. We have a great defense that he can rely on. It's year 3. We got to see something. And if we're not getting it done, I want to see Tim Boyle. I'm not saying Tim Boyle's top 10, but it does make me beg the question: how bad is Tim Boyle to where what we're seeing at quarterback right now? Again, anemic offensive play, but then quarterback numbers. 2 TDs, 4 picks, a completion percentage just above 52%, not good at all. That is unquestionably the guy. Wilson is unquestioned. Like, there's no ifs, ands. Saleh said it today in his press conference. Tim Boyle will not be receiving first-team reps. It's not a question. Not happening. Wilson's the guy. We haven't even had a full 24 hours to process the game. We did not even get one of, if not the most cliche coachable terms of all time. Gotta watch the tape. We did not even get that. Think about that for a second. Like, think about the magnitude of exiting this game, exiting MetLife Stadium, showing up in the press conference, not having watched the tape, just starting to process what just happened, and watching Zach Wilson, the offense, completely just fall right on their face from the gate, right out of the gate, and say, no, he is the guy. There's not going to be any questions about it. Tim Boyle will not receive a first team rep in practice. That's mind blowing to me. I don't get it. I do not get it. And something's got to give. You know, I blame Joe Douglas. I blame Saleh. I blame Nathaniel Hackett. And Saleh said, hey, you know, it'd be nice to get him some help. You know, I don't know if he was referencing the personnel around Zach. I don't know if he was referencing get him some help as in a solid game plan and a play caller. I believe it was Saleh who said that they interviewed, I think, 10 plus candidates for OC, or they had interest in 10 plus guys, and Nathaniel Hackett was the team's top choice. You know, if we're looking at this offense right now and this is, you know, acceptable, then I don't really know what the the short-term goal was for the team in 2023, right? Because yes, Aaron Rodgers he got hurt, he's down, he's out for the season. It sucks. Nobody really saw that happening, right? But you have to, as a general manager of a football team, you have got to prepare for the disaster situation. Nobody wants to think about it, right? I get it. Nobody wants to put yourself in that negative mindset. We invested all this money. We traded, you know, this draft pick. We bring Rodgers into the building. We're adding all of his buddies, Randall Cobb, Allen Lazard, Billy Turner, hiring Nathaniel Hackett. Nobody wants to talk about and think about him getting hurt. But it's the NFL. You have to prepare, and it just doesn't seem like the Jets are prepared. They didn't bring, I know Zach Wilson was given the backup quarterback job, and they say that they have full confidence. And I mean, reporters are talking about how good Wilson is looking in practice. But when it comes to in-game settings, it's just not good enough to get the job done on a consistent basis. He might make a throw here and there. But, so far through this season, all of last season, all of the season before that, I've been looking for consistency here. You know, can we string along just a few games where he's performing as an above average quarterback? He's looking like the second overall pick in the draft. It just seems, and again, it's not all on him. I think a big part of this as well is Hackett calling games like he's handcuffed. Like Wilson cannot, like he's playing in like some sort of 10, 15 yard box, or there's like a brick wall behind, like 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. Like there's no threat down the field. How often is Zach getting outside of the pocket, rolling them out? That's where I feel like Zach is at his best, right? Whether you love Zach or you hate him, the two things about him that you have to admit that he has really, really good traits in: arm strength, overall arm power, and mobility. He has those two things. No, he's not Lamar Jackson. No, he's not, a guy like Kyler Murray or Justin Fields running the football. But he can move. He can elude defenders. He can put, people on skates. He can make people look silly, right? A defensive end breaks free, gets in the backfield. He can put a move on a guy, and he's dude's on the floor, and Zach is running outside the pocket, extending a play. We have to do something to, if Zach, again, is the unquestioned starter here, there's nothing about Zach's play that is rubbing the Jets the wrong way or making them even bring in a third quarterback. Again, Randall Cobb is the team's third quarterback, the emergency quarterback. Can't even add somebody to the practice squad, let alone even talk about it. It's just out of the question. No, he's our guy. It's crazy to me. But, and two, let me just throw this in there as well. If Zach Wilson were to go out there and ball out, right? He's throwing for 300 yards next week. He's throwing for 250 the following week. He's holding it down. He's managing the game. He's making good decisions. What's the plan B if Wilson gets hurt? These are the questions. These are the big questions that Joe Douglas and Saleh have got to prepare for. This is the NFL. They don't. Goodell doesn't feel sorry for teams and just starts handing out free wins. It doesn't work like that. You have to go out there and earn it. So personally, I don't know how this team can move forward week after week after week with this same mindset. Again, bringing up the thing that I said in the beginning, something has got to give. Either Wilson plays better, either he gets benched for Tim Boyle and he looks okay, whether it's the Jets trading for a backup quarterback or signing one that's currently out on the open market, something has to give. Because if this is the Jets team that we will continue to see week in, week out, Chiefs, Broncos, Philly are the next 3 games, and we have to play the Miami Dolphins twice and New England again at some point and Buffalo again at some point. We also have to play Cleveland at the end of the year. If this is the plan, then it just makes you ask the question, what are we doing? What's the identity? Where we have zero accountability. I mean, think about like if you're Garrett Wilson, if you are whoever, Jermaine Johnson, in the locker room, and you see that on Twitter after the game, or you watch his press conference, and it's like, no, we haven't even had a chance to put on the tape. Tim Boyle, not a first team, not going to get a first team rep. Just not happening. So something's got to give here. Sorry about that, my phone ended up dying, but basically what I was saying, I need to see some accountability. I need to see some accountability from Nathaniel Hackett and Robert Saleh, and, potentially Joe Douglas. I know he's not, addressing the media every week, but, we cannot just be looking like this in week 2 and week 3 for the remainder of the season. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to be posting a bunch of, videos throughout the week on, different topics and whatnot surrounding this game. Of course, we'll get the podcast with Tyson coming up at some point Tuesday morning, which should be a crazy episode. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.